Hey guys, this is Jeff from Evans Tuning. Today's daily tune episode, I have a Honda S2000. It's a 2006 Honda S2000, so it's drive-by-wire. It's been fitted with a Science of Speed supercharger kit. It has ID 1050X injectors, a drop-in fuel pump, a return-style fuel system. Particularly, these cars are normally flashed with something like Honda Flash Pro. This car is a track car, and the owner decided to go with an AEM Series 2, so it's a plug-and-play standalone, and it works in conjunction with the factory ECU, which is a little bit different than a typical standalone, but they work in parallel to each other. So this car is a pure track car. It's been purposely built for road course use. So we're going to get this thing on the dyno, get started, and see what we get. So just got the car set up on the dyno. I'm going to fire up my laptop, connect to the AEM Series 2, and I'm going to start going through everything, getting the idle set up, getting the part throttle set up, and then move on to full throttle. The drivability and throttle modulation on this car is going to be super important. It's a track car. He's going to be on off the throttle, coming in and out of corners. So that kind of drivability is key to making the car fast and smooth driving around the track. So we're going to get started and see what we can get out of it. So one of the first things I'm going to be doing is scaling the injectors. So this has ID 1050X injectors. Note at the base pressure, fuel pressure, it's approximately 45 to 50 psi. So I'm going to set up my injector latency, set up my injector scaling size, and then I'm going to go in and just double check over my starting maps, fire it up, and start tuning the idle, and get that all worked out, and then we're going to move on to some part throttle stuff. So I just went through and I tuned all the part throttle maps. I did drivability sweeps from 2,000 to about 6,000 RPM, and I built up my main fuel table and calibrated some of my spark table in those areas as well. At this point, I'm ready to do some wide open throttle tuning. I've sort of done some tip-in as I was running the engine and got into boost. You know, I'm only, since it's supercharged, you know, I was only seeing at 4,000 or 5,000 RPM range, only seeing about 2 or 3 pounds of boost. But I had to add fuel. It looks like I still need to add some fuel. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to start doing some full throttle sweeps from 2,000 to 7,000 and work my way up to redline, which is about 8,400. This is an F22 engine. So we're going to get started and see how that goes. Okay, so I've made the first few pulls here. The first pull started at 355, kind of as my baseline. It was a little rich. Ignition timing was pretty conservative. And then I added some more ignition timing and got my fuel mixture right in the next subsequent couple of pulls, but I'm actually seeing a decrease in power, which doesn't really make sense. I did notice that my air temp sensor readings from my air temp sensor in the intake manifold here were getting hotter and hotter during each pull, which indicates that there's something going on with the intercooler or the heat exchanger system. In this case, the Supercharged is fitted with a heat exchanger. It has a water pump, a heat exchanger in front, and then the actual air-to-liquid core here, which circulates the water through and is supposed to absorb the heat. In this situation, I put my hand on it and it's actually burning hot, which either means that the system is low on water or the water pump itself actually isn't circulating the water through the heat exchanger in the system. So I'm going to open the system up and see if there's water in it. If there is, I'm going to add some. I'm also going to test to make sure the water pump works and that the system is circulating water. So we're going to do that and then hopefully get back to tuning and make a whole bunch more power. So I turned the key on and listened for the water pump to actually turn on, and it wasn't. In these systems, the water pump turns on when you turn the key on. So went in the car and I found the issue. Pump now is running, circulating water. So I'm gonna get back to tuning and hopefully pick up a bunch more power and finish this thing up. So I just got done tuning this S2000. We put down 420 wheel at 11 PSI on 93 octane. It is a bone stock motor with typical bolt-ons and the Science of Speed Supercharger kit. It was initially tuned on flex fuel, so it had E85 tune, and I'm sure it made more power. I had not initially tuned the car. Science of Speed, I believe, did. So for track use, being on this octane level, you have to keep things relatively conservative. So the power it made, given the octane we're on, is pretty good. I set up some fail-safe protections in the tune, like per cylinder knock control, lean protection, and closed loop O2 wideband feedback. So it's going to have some strategies in case it gets hot on track and it starts to pre-ignite or knock. There's going to be some things that are going to help it keep the motor safe. Or if it starts to get lean from maybe a low fuel level or some other situations that could create lean conditions, it'll have the lean protection to cut the engine off so it won't get damaged. So the car is set up. It should be all good to go. The owner should be pretty happy. And you know, solid numbers from the tune today. So thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.